The word shows you. God speaks to you. But also when you come to that crossroad, that place of conflict, what will happen to you? You would hear a voice behind you, because he had already spoken to you and he's speaking to you. And a lot of times what he's saying or what he has said will contradict what you are seeing. You need to know how to believe what has been said, what is behind you, what has been said versus what you are seeing. A lot of times when people come to that place, when they are seeing things, they begin to doubt what has been said. If you want to master or be one who receive directions from God frequently, you must know how to stand with what has been said, not minding what you are seeing. This is why that commandment is behind. Peter had a voice, and that voice was, come. Peter gets on water and he started seeing the wind. Because of what he was seeing, he forgot what was said, and immediately he began to experience the reality that what he was seeing naturally brings. To escape from the repercussion of nature, you need to hold on to the divine revelation that has been received. If you let go of the divine revelation that you've received, then the natural effect of that experience in time will be your experience. It is natural to sink when you are on water, especially when the water is troubled by strong wind. The only escape from the effect of that natural happening is to hold on to a divine commandment that you've received. Now, the divine commandment will not stop the natural happening, but it will save you from the effect of the natural happening. So what will happen to a natural man due to that situation, it will not happen to you. You will have a different result from a natural man. This is what divine direction does. You will go through the fire, but your result will be different from the result of a natural man. That is if you hold on to a divine word received. This is where a lot of people fail when they are trying to engage divine direction. Lean not unto your own understanding, because if you trust the Lord with all your heart and you've received this word, your understanding will always come to counter what God had said. So it's a battle between what was said and what you are seeing. The voice is always behind you, something you've heard of God, an assurance you've received from God. If you let go of that assurance, I tell you the truth as a prophet, that problem will swallow you. There's no two way about it. So you need to take your life in your hands and say, okay, despite what I'm seeing, my own result will be different from every other person's own. This is the only way to escape the natural effect of a situation. Peter had received the word, walks on water. The wind boisterous, the sea moving rapidly, but he was experiencing a different result from that which a natural man should naturally experience, which is being drowned. But immediately he moved his mind from the command that Jesus had given to him, and he set his eyes on what is natural. He began immediately to experience the natural result. So if you are truly following God and you want his direction, despite what you are seeing, what you hold on to is what he has said. So Abraham did not consider the deadness of his body. That's the way to receive divine direction. I feel like I'm talking to myself here. Are we together? That's the way to receive divine direction. What has been said, except something has not been said from God. What has been said versus what I am seeing. What has God said? Because what he has said is what will save me from what I'm experiencing. It will give me a different outcome. When men say there is a casting down, we will say, it does not mean we are not all experiencing the casting down, but the result of that casting down type of situation will be different from for the one who says by God that there's a lifting up. The situation actually has the power to cast a man down. And because of that, in the natural, men say there is a casting down. Because in the natural, that situation can actually bring you down. But you will say there is a lifting up. Because you've received a word from the Lord, your result will be different from the result of other people. So we can all come from a poor background. Another man is saying, I don't have any rich uncle. I cannot make it in life. There's nothing working for me. But because you've heard what God has said, even though you are all going through the fire, the one who looks upon the scorching power of the fire will be scorched by the fire. And the one who trusts in the delivering power of God, his result will be different. It's as simple as that. So it is a battle between what you've heard and what you are seeing. Then the question is, have you heard God? That's all. Have you heard God? Have you heard God? Are we together? That's the question. Have you heard God? Simple and short. Have you heard God? What have you heard? Who told you you were naked? Immediately someone said something else. They began to see something else. The same fruit Eve was looking at, and he said, this fruit is poison. Satan spoke. Immediately Eve looked at the fruit, and the fruit became pleasing to the eyes. What you've heard and you believe is that's what you will see. That's what you will see. You are broke. Yes, that's the reality of men. You are in debt. Yes, that's the reality of men. This kind of debt has the power to destroy anybody. Yes, that's the reality of men. This kind of poverty has the power to render someone useless. Yes, that's the reality of men. You don't have any uncle anywhere. You don't have any auntie anywhere. No connection whatsoever. Those kinds of people end up becoming the lowest of the low in society. That's the reality of man. But what have you seen? What have you heard? Sorry. What have you heard? Because if you've heard God and he has said you are going to lend to nations, you are going to feed nations, despite what you are seeing today, if you hold on to what has been said by God, your outcome will be different from the outcome of another person who is going through the same situation but is looking upon the gravity of that situation. So I've heard the Lord, and no matter what I go through in time, what he guarantees me is an expected end. And to those kind of people, what God does is that he furnishes an assurance within your spirit. You don't have money, you are in terrible debt, people are troubling you left, right and center. Many things you want to do, there's no help coming from anywhere. Everyone is expecting the day that we hear that you failed in life and destiny. But there is this assurance. You just know somehow that your future is great. And that no matter what you are going through now, there is a promise of a great future. That's all God gives to you. He will show you the end from the beginning. That's what he does. If he has not declared the end, there is no God, because from the beginning he will declare the end to you. And then you will have to trust him, the integrity that he has. And that integrity is that he's able to bring his word to pass. So he showed Joseph the end from the beginning. He said, you are going to be prime minister and your family is going to bow to you. That was all. He didn't show Joseph that Joseph will be taken to Egypt, will be put in prison for many years, will be accused of raping his benefactor's wife. No, he didn't show Joseph all those things, because what he does is that he declares the end from the beginning. And if you know him, that's why I say to trust in God, you must know God. And when you know him, you respond in faith. Your faith is your trust in his integrity. And when you come to the place of conflict, you must make sure your faith is rigid, because in the place of conflict, reality from men's perspective is going to contradict reality from what you've received of God.